How's it going, everybody? My name is Phelp, and today we're going to be reacting to 6 lies America told me about Europe. Now, I don't know if I probably have heard of these. I just don't. I never really registered them fully. Maybe just because I hear it so often, and maybe I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, and I just kind of push it to the back of my mind, and I don't think about it all that much. But I'm not sure. It's going to be definitely interesting to see what these specific lies are. I'm sure I could probably think of others during the video. I'll try and keep it shorter because I know that I tend to ramble, go on rants quite a bit. But I'll try and keep it short. But it's going to be quite interesting how much of this I'm going to agree with, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of it that I'm going to agree with. So let's check it out.
Hey everybody, welcome back. International Carl doing another video for you. If this is your first time to my channel, please right now stop and hit the like button. Consider subscribing, and as always, hit me in the comment section.
Hit the subscribe button.
Those that have subscribed to my channel
button as well
know that I'm always active in the comment section. Now, this video, we're going to talk about a couple lies that the United States pushes into us as Americans growing up. And let's talk about it right now. Let's get to it right now. Lie number 1. This one is a funny one to me because in the United States, it's always, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're independent, I don't care where you're at on the political spectrum. You're always going to have a politician telling you that
they hate our freedoms, our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom to vote and assemble and disagree with each other.
That's right. They hate us for our freedoms.
Another thing is they make it seem like freedom of speech is uniquely American. I don't know why. I think what they tend to do though is they try and push it towards the Middle East, you know, or like in Syria. Oh, see, the women aren't allowed to do this or that in Muslim countries or in this and that, Iran, whatever. But they always try and push those ones rather than and kind of somehow bring it towards Europe as well. And it's just like, what? That's not the same. It's not the same.
Can you believe that? As if nowhere else in the world has any freedoms. Like Europe. You know, in Europe they act like if you come to Europe, there's just no freedoms. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe?
Right.
You know, as these are Western democracies with Western values and culture that has been exported to the United States. And it's become its own thing. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but freedoms exist here.
Yeah.
I'm still scratching my head. What freedom do you have in America that I don't have here?
Free to get
Let's
fat.
talk about freedom of speech, for example. In America, you have freedom of speech. In the UK, for example, you don't have freedom of speech. What you do have is freedom of expression. Slight different tweak, but let's give you an example. In America, you can be as racist as you want to somebody. You can walk up to me, walk up to any black person and say the N-word all day long if you want.
Yeah, it's really stupid and ridiculous.
In the UK, you really couldn't do that because at some point you will cross a fine line of inciting racial hatred. So if you define your freedoms based on your ability to call somebody an N-word or call some Asian American some type of offensive word, by all means, you can have that freedom. I don't need that freedom.
Yeah,
but
that's
other people in America talk about it like freedom for guns. Ooh, guns, guns, guns. They want to take your guns. Well, let's see. Here in the UK, can you have guns? Yes. Can you have a rifle? Yes. Can you have a handgun? Yes. What does the Second Amendment say in the United States? It's highly regulated. So what is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated.
I'm sorry. When he says highly regulated, again, I don't look through all the amendments. You know, I don't look through all the shit political wise and constitution wise and whatnot. Heavily regulated? Are you sure? Like, the amounts of guns that some people have, it's just like, I don't know. It seems weird. He said heavily regulated. If that's the case, how are people able to buy assault rifles? Like, I could understand like a double barrel shotgun because it only holds 2 rounds before you have to reload it. and it even still, I feel like that's kind of pushing it. Like handguns and maybe a one-shot shotgun. How's that? That's still quite a bit, but I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like I always have to find ways to help people or come up with ways for people to keep their guns, but keep it safe, even though there's no way of doing that. I don't know. I try and be like like someone in the middle, but it's just at some point it's
There's lots of regulations around what
working.
type of gun, where you have to store that gun, where you have to keep the ammunition, what do you have to do for the maintenance of that gun. Highly regulated.
That's what
so
we
you
need to do
still
here.
have the freedom
like
to have a gun. So if you define your freedoms as being able to have as many guns as you want in America, okay, fine, no argument. But I think that's a lie that they sell, that nobody here has any guns. Not true. Number 2, social housing is a bad thing. It's something that you're supposed to segregate from the rest of the population. So, for example, in America, especially in LA where I'm from, or Southern California where I'm from, social housing, Section 8. Well, that's usually in a separate side of the city, not being seen. I don't even know where it's at, because where I grew up was nothing but beautiful homes, single family homes, no social housing. Where here in the UK, just in Europe in general, it's all sprinkled around you. For example, here in the UK, I live in a beautiful big house, beautiful executive style estate. I have a nice car, but guess what? On this estate and on several new estates, they all have social housing, and they do things that are different in the United States, or that they do here in the UK, that they wouldn't do or they don't do in the United States. You can be on social housing, but guess what? You can partially own that house. So that way you can be on the track. So you can buy 10% of the home, 20% of the home, 50% of the home, and try to get all the way up to 100% of the home like me or you do. So that's a different strategy that they do, so that social housing is good for everybody, because that way the kids get to interact with all people from all social and religious economic backgrounds. And you as an adult get to work and meet and mingle with people from all different backgrounds. I think the neighborhoods are better for it. They're safer for it. Less crime, because guess what? If you're in an executive style estate, well, guess what? You want to keep your home value high. You want to keep it nice and looking new. And that's going to put pressure on the social housing to also keep their house nice, keep the estate looking nice and new and fresh. So I think that's a myth, and I think that's something that should be revisited in the United States. Number 3. In America, they teach you this, that somehow being a hard worker means coming in early, staying late, never taking a vacation, and definitely don't call in sick.
Yep.
That is like the biggest.
See, okay, the one thing that also gets on my nerves is if they say, especially because I personally work with food, and I've kind of worked with food for quite a while. They say, if you're sick and you're working with food, do not come in, call out. If that's the actual case, then I would have probably called out. If I felt, they even say, if you feel the tiniest bit of illness or sickness, call out. And the thing is, I do, and then I get in trouble. I got in trouble one time because I called out to go to a family friend's funeral. Like I got actually written up for it. This is back when I worked at in a warehouse for DHL, and my manager was kind of a fucking idiot. And it was so stupid. His excuse for giving me the write up was, funerals don't just come out of nowhere. And that pissed me off, because I hold my tongue a lot because I can be quite a smart ass. I really wanted to say, if you say shit like that to me again, your funeral's gonna come out of nowhere. So don't just bring this shit up. Also, you were away at a wedding the couple days leading up to this funeral. I found out on this Wednesday, so on Friday I called out because that Thursday I went to go to the viewing. So Thursday you weren't there, Friday you weren't there, or he might have just showed up on Friday, but Thursday he wasn't there for me to tell him. even some of my coworkers noticed there was something wrong because it hit me harder than I realized it was going to. And so I called out saying, okay, the funeral's going to hit me definitely very hard because I got very, not upset, but I got very emotional just doing the viewing, you know? Seeing them again and just the reality of it all really just hit me. And then I went to work literally that same night. But then the next day I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't be going to work after this. Like, and so I called out, and then he wasn't too happy about it. So I was like, well, okay, fuck you, dude. That's when I started looking for other work.
Mistake you could ever make. Faux pas you could make. I'll give you an example.
I
When
know
I
I
was
wasn't
working
sick,
for a
but
large airframe manufacturer in the United States, I remember a friend of mine, we wanted to take 2 weeks off and go do something. Our managers looked at us like we were crazy because we wanted to have the audacity to take 2 weeks off.
Right.
And mind you, we didn't take any days off prior to that. We just wanted to take 2 weeks off in a year so we could go do something. They were like, no, rejected, slim that down to a week. And I'm thinking, isn't that my time off to relax, to recharge my battery so I can come back to work?
One thing I'll say about that though is it's definitely, I think it depends on the people. So if you guys are two people in the same department, and if you, let's say you're both really good workers, you know, because in my department right now, I already asked for 2 weeks off for at the end of July, which it looks like it got approved, which I was so happy for. And then someone else got another week off my second week. So there's going to be 2 people off in that week. We don't have the people right now to keep things flowing, I guess. Because we have a butcher and me. So that means we're going to be a butcher down so that everyone's going to have to be working maybe a 6th day. Maybe, and then, or maybe do a little bit of overtime now, those 2 weeks, because we don't have the people right now. You know, and so in his case, it might have been something similar. They might not have had the people, and if they did, maybe them both being 2 of the more productive people, they don't want to lose 2 productive people at the same time, I guess. But even still, they should still be allowed. But it's just certain things like that is
no. Now I think minds and hearts have changed a little bit in the United States. Back from when I started working, back in the early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I should say. But that was a faux pas. Well, here in the United Kingdom and here in Europe, for example, it's encouraged to take time off. You get 20, 25 plus days off in mostly all European countries. I think by law in the European Union, you have to have 20 days off. So it's encouraged to take time off because either you use it or you lose it. And for example, I think Sweden, if I can find the article, it's on the screen now. But if not, Sweden is actually doing a trial where they're reducing the work hours to 6 hours to see if it increases productivity.
Ooh.
Because employers are seeing that the employees are more rested and more focused when they come back to work. Number 4.
Okay, so little quick thing about that. I've noticed that if I have to work 6 hours in a day, because they tend to cut hours here and there, but if I'm working 6 hours in a day, I know what I have to do, and I get it done as quickly as possible, and I tend to do it, and then I get to go home. You know, I might not have to take a lunch. I might just clock out like 5 to 2 minutes before my shift is over, or before my 6th hour, but like, you do things quickly. You tend to do things a lot faster. You get to go home sooner. You get to have more time to do whatever you want. And I don't know. It just that would make sense. You don't necessarily, as much as I would love to have 3 days off, if I work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, that would be perfect. Honestly, I think I would actually love that, except for the fact that my paycheck would be a lot less.
America sells you this, that capitalism and consumerism go hand in glove. It's like this cycle. You have to work to buy, to work again to pay for what you buy, to buy some more stuff, to then work again and go down this continuous loop of working to live. And in Europe, one of the things that I find, I think is a beauty and a benefit of working and living in Europe is that there's more of a work-life balance. As I just talked about in point number 3, is that you have time off to actually do stuff. And you don't just have this endless working to consume. Don't get me wrong. We go on vacation, so we're consuming what I would call, we are consuming experiences, but we don't live to work, we work to live.
Yeah, I've had that in the comments a lot recently.
That is a benefit of living in Europe, and I think that is great, and I think the U.S. sells a lie to its people by telling them that you have to work hard to then buy stuff and never do anything. Number 5.
Yep.
Which kind of ties into the first one I said, but it really is on the Republican right side in America. Always preach, especially during the Obamacare era, 2012, was all about
the
these
healthcare?
death panels. They literally produced a video where they were throwing grandma off a cliff because of social medicine.
Make no mistake about it. President Obama and the Democrats who supported Obamacare began throwing seniors off the cliff back.
The evils of social.
Yo, I could see how people believed that, though. Like, here in the U.S., we just dumb. Not all of us. Okay, not all of us. A lot of us. Republicans, maybe? No, I'm joking.
Medicine that you were gonna have death panels if you got sick. I mean, how ridiculous of a lie that is. I mean, it's a bold-faced lie. I've lived here 11, 12 years. I have yet to ever see a death panel. I have known some older people. I know some younger people. I know myself. You can walk into any hospital in any country in Europe and there's not a single death penalty. What do you expect them to say? Oh, sorry, you had a heart attack last year, Mr. Carl, but since you had one last year, we're not going to treat you for this heart attack because the panel has refused your care. On a side note, you kind of already have that in America. You just have it through the insurance companies because guess what they do? Decide not to cover you. Yeah. They say, it's a pre-existing condition. I don't think you can do that anymore, but they'll say that, or they'll find a way to deny coverage. They'll make it so high to cost to do it that you have to do it out of pocket. And guess what? Now you're bankrupt. So that loops right back to number 1. How are you free if you have to live with the pressure of going bankrupt and not being able to pay your bills? Because guess what? You had the audacity to break your hip, get sick.
Yeah.
I don't know. You pick it. So
how
those are the
dare you
5
have
things
cancer?
that I think that
how
the United
dare
States
you
lies or misleads its people on purpose to further whatever big business or whatever political agenda that they have to the people. I'm going to leave you with a bonus one, which is kind of strange if you look at it. Because number 6 is this. In America, every day, all students around the nation get up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance. You pledge yourself and align yourself to the United States flag and to the republic for which it stands. Now, that's not something that's common in Europe.
Which is
many Western
weird
countries. I don't know any other Western
that.
country that makes its kids get up every morning. I do know of one back in 1938, 1942-ish time.
Yep.
Those kids used to get up and actually pledge allegiance to their flag and to their Führer.
I wonder who.
But I don't know if that's something we should necessarily be doing. Don't get me wrong, I love my country. I'm very patriotic about it. I love the 4th of July for all its... My country is never perfect, but I think it can get better. But that's mine. Hit me in the comments. Tell me what you think. And like always...
Okay, so I will say that from what my mom has told me, she's still a teacher, that she's a 6th grade teacher, so she tells me that they personally, at least in my mom's class, they don't do the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. And I find it funny and sad that I didn't realize how weird that was until they brought it up in that TikTok compilation that I watched. And that's kind of how they bring it up to you, though. It's just like, oh, it's normal. And then for the people that don't necessarily travel, that if you go, like, especially because, like, the only time I ever had to travel was during the summer, which means that I went during times when everyone else was off school. So if I were to travel when it wasn't during the summer and I had to go to like school for like a month maybe in a different school, or if we moved to a different country or something, it might have become more clear, I guess. I don't really know, but it's something that it's upsetting to know that for a long ass time I did not realize that was an issue, that was something that was not okay. Like honestly, for a long while after sophomore year in high school, I kind of stopped thinking about the Pledge of Allegiance. I only ever remember doing it when I was in elementary school. I remember kind of doing it maybe 1 year in like my freshman year in high school, and then after that I don't remember doing it anymore. So it was just one of those things I kind of forgot about, and then they brought it up in the TikTok compilation, and it was like, holy shit, damn. But I guess what they need to change the name from being called socialized healthcare to something different, because obviously having it be socialist, it's socialized. That's not okay. We can't have that. So we just need to change the name from socialized healthcare to something different. Maybe just call it free healthcare, in which I'm sure apparently we're still going to be throwing off grannies if we're calling it free healthcare. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If there's any other massive lies that you could think of that he did not bring up, that this country has told everyone, I would love to know what they are in the comment section below. I probably will agree with them. Yeah. But let me know in the comment section below what else I should react to. Like I said, I do want to get back into music and other stuff like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this. We're actually really close to 1,000, so that's getting kind of exciting. I never thought it would be anywhere close to this, but thank you guys all so much for subscribing. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys next time.